when I started trying to promote myself as a speaker, I built a website. And again, it was that whole field of dreams thing, right? Build it and they will come, like anything else. The realization was when I started checking my log, nobody was hitting on my site. So that's when I said, okay, how does this whole search engine marketing work? And you're going to hear two terms, search engine marketing and search engine optimization. The search engine marketing is basically you promoting yourself. The search engine optimization part is how do you attract search engines to your site so they can rank your page even higher. So what we're going to do is go through some of that. This is going to be a show and tell type of presentation, okay? I'll be jumping between presentation into the websites, and we're going to be going back and forth. Get it? Got it. Good. Does internet marketing work? We can talk about it, but I think it's easier just to show you, okay? That's a contract dated December 13th of this past year. My booking fee is $7,500 for a 45-minute keynote. How did they find me? The web. $7,500. They've now purchased 800 books on top of that, and it's going to be, we think, a crowd of almost 2,000 people. They will videotape it, provide DVDs, and actually ship out the DVDs to all their distributors and all their customers. What do you think of that marketing? Amazing. This is what they did. This is the company. They sent out a magazine nationwide because I think it's better to show you. And look at that handsome devil in there. Huh? They sent out this magazine nationwide that my mother-in-law, who I often talk to, I told her I'm a speaker. She's like, yeah, whatever, right? She actually calls me and she goes, I saw your face in the magazine. You know, like, you really are popular. You know what I mean? You know, I was like, wow. But it's this type of stuff that we want to get going. This is called momentum. Because once people find you, once you get a break like this, because 4 years ago, man, I was looking for this break. Can you feel me? Right? Because all of us are going, God, I just need one good break, right? All of a sudden, they put out magazines nationwide. I didn't have to do anything. And they put it out there. And this is what I'm trying to get to. When you go into the search engine marketing business, what you're trying to do is get people to your website so little good things like this can happen. Get it? Yeah. Good. So nationwide magazine, pre-purchase 800 books. We'll get the video and DVD mailed out. You can't get this type of promotion. Here's an email. I want to share with you some of my email. And I'm not making this up. 2/16, which is February 16th, a little over, less than a week ago, a little over a week ago, rather. The NSA, the National Security Agency, look what they say. I found your book, The Logic of Success, What Great Leaders Do to Win. Blah, 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 blah. We'd like to know your fee so you can come speak. Guaranteed gig, $5,700. Next. 2/21. You're going to love this one, because this was weird. Stephanie writes me an email. Says, again, I'm contacting you because here at the BBC, we're searching for a relationship expert / life coach to host a new TV series. I'm like, oh, hell no, right? Somebody's sending me a prank email, right? So I said, all right, let me call, you know. Sure enough, I called New York. This is the BBC. I'm like, oh, hell no, you know. And so I talked to her. So by next week, I have to send them a video. Now, will I probably get this? Hell no. But I'll think positive. But I'm just saying, does it matter? Oh, hell no. Because it's like, it's the coolest thing that can happen to you. Do you know what I mean? Just to be able to tell this story. What I'm saying is they found me through internet marketing. Now, this guy, 222, Richard East, calls me, Bucharest. Calls me from Bucharest. I'm like, where? You know, because you look at the caller ID and it had these out of area. Oh, hell yeah, they were out of area. So he calls me up and says, look, we're putting this program together for, you know, the automotive industry. We have, I don't know how many, I think it was 30,000 distributors for this automotive industry. We're putting together this series for success, and I keep typing in subjects on the mindset of success. That's what he said, the mindset of success. He says, your name keeps coming up. I'm wondering if we can interview you and include you in our package. I'm like, sure. It's not going to cost me anything, is it? He said, no. He said, I'll call you up, set up the conference call. Send him some notes. We did the interview. Look who's on I don't know if you know these names. Ari Galper, Unlock the Game. Very well known in the sales business. Joe Calloway, known. If you don't know who John as duct tape marketing is, you should. They're on this whole program. This was done and completed within like 2 weeks. They sent me the audio of the interview, edited with beautiful music before and after. They did the CD graphics for me. They sent me the 45-page transcript, which is a book, right? So now I'm going to offer a book plus the thing called Engaging the Mindset of Sales Success. It's a beautiful thing. I didn't do anything, but he found me because he kept searching on the internet. Does internet marketing work? Yes, it does. So let's see how we can do this. All right, internet myths and reality. Over 1 million pages are created a day. This is what I want you to think of. Here's the visual I want you to have. You've seen a confetti parade, right? Think of confetti. You got it? You got it visualized? You're one of those pieces of paper, and you're asking somebody to find it. Impossible, right? How do you stand out when that many pages are being created a day? Net continues to increase. Shopping is growing. E-commerce is alive and well. The bubble is over with. The market is upswinging. People are spending money. Websites are not safe. That's a lie. The shopping carts are great. I'm going to show you some of the shopping carts I use. I'm going to give you alternatives. I call the Volkswagen. I'm going to give you a Maserati to choose from, depending on your budget. Websites don't generate money. Don't believe it. Don't believe it. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this up into 4 sections. We're going to talk about product and service, establishing a web presence, e-commerce, and then promotion. Here's the logic behind this. You need to sell something, right? So we need to define what we're going to sell. So let's start there. What are we going to sell, and how are we going to sell it? Once we do that, we're ready to build the website because we know what we're selling. Am I right? All right. Then we talk about how do you set up like the merchant's account, the shopping carts, how do you do all that stuff, and how do you do it without spending a lot of money? Last part is, this is where we talk about promotion, search engine strategies, search engine optimizations, and everything that has to do with you generating traffic to your website. I'm going to show you logs and everything. I'm going to show you what my stuff looks like, and then we'll compare notes. And again, at any time, if you have any questions, just raise your hand, okay, and ask the question. Get it? Got it. Good. All right. The double funnel. This is a business plan. This graph is a business plan. I started writing a book, and I said, I got this concept in my head, and this is the way the double funnel works. By the way, I registered at doublefunnel.com. Anyway, so what it is, here's where most of you are at right now. A, B, C, D, E. You got a bunch of ideas. You're good at a lot of things. Well, Victor, I'm good at this, I'm good at this, I'm good at this, I'm good at this, I'm good at this. Visualize yourself moving into the funnel, and I ask you to pick the top 3. Push yourself further into the funnel. I say, pick the one thing. One. That's it. You can only go one. One thing. What is the one thing you want to talk about? What is the one thing you want to sell? What is the one thing you want to promote? You come outside the other side of the funnel. Now, for that one thing, you create P1, a speech, right? I write a book. I get a DVD or audio series, right? Move further out along. Well, now I got shirts. And what else? Coaching, whatever it may be. You expand on that one idea. I was telling somebody a story about this lady in Miami. True story. If I asked you the question, can a dancer make at least $100,000 a year? A dancer. By the way, a legitimate dancer. I asked you the question. Most people would doubt that a dancer makes a lot of money. Most people in the arts don't make a lot of money, right? Let me tell you what this lady in Miami did. She loved hip-hop music. She really loved hip-hop music. But she wanted to really find a way to mold it into a business. So what she did was she created these classes every week, right? So for 1 hour, she taught kids how to dance to this hip-hop music, right? Now it's clean hip-hop music. Now families signed up because when you're faced, I got a little girl, when you're faced with ballet, jazz, or hip-hop music, the majority are going to go for the third option. You know what I mean? Because that's something they could use in school. They don't want to look like a nerd next time they go to the dance, right? Kids sign up, $25 a lesson. Or if you sign up for the whole month, you get 1 week free, that's $75. You sign up 10 people a day, or for that 1 hour, you run the numbers. So that's what she did. She started out with that one class. Now, what is her one thing? She's a dancer, and she loves this type of music, and that's where she's going after. One thing. She then adds to that, I thought it was a creative idea, she gets licenses for certain songs that she wants to use on the CD. She pays royalties, but every time she sells a CD, she keeps about $10 per CD. Another revenue stream on the outside. Get it? She then creates these overalls. You had to see them. They're like overalls, farmer overalls, and then it has hip-hop kids in graffiti. Now, if somebody buys one, everybody in the group has to have one, right? Because you don't want to be left out. $80. It's all yours. You know what I mean? So then she creates videos. A lot of students within 1 hour can't get the groove. So what she does is she records herself and she sells them the video, right? Capture market. Another profit-generating revenue, right? Doesn't stop there. Every 3 months she's got to have a showcase because everybody wants to show their parents how good they are, right? Now, she's not cheesy. She doesn't charge the parents to go to the showcase, but I'll be videoing the showcase, and if anybody wants a copy, $50. Fully edited, right? Another revenue stream out the other side of the funnel, right? But to me, what really took it to the next level was she franchised the whole system. $30,000, $50,000, 30 to 50, you can buy the whole system. By the end, and I think the number is right, by the end of the third year it was $2.5 million that she was at. $2.5 million. If you go to hiphopkidswithaz.net, I think you'll find the website. So let's go back. She figured out the one thing. She created multiple streams of income, which is what you need to do. Your website should sell one thing. Your website should sell one thing. Don't put a bunch of stuff on there. If you're selling your speaking services, damn it, that's what you're selling. Sometimes I go to a website, I don't know what they're selling. Have you been to those? You're like, where do I click? What do I buy? I don't know what this person is. We try to do too much. This gets back to focus in on one thing and then expand that market niche. I mean, this is an MBA in 2 funnels. If you follow this model, you got it. So I say, get it? You say? Got it. Good. All right. So I want you to write this down in your books. Just help me out here because I'm going to come back to this. Describe your product or service. Quickly. One sentence, describe your product or service. If you don't have one, think about maybe something you like to do. Describe your product or service. Okay? Just think about what it is you want to sell, want to do. Be focused, be focused, be focused. Be like the squirrel. Have you heard my squirrel story? No? Who's from Minnesota? We got one guy from Minnesota, right? He'll understand the story. I lived in Minnesota for about 10 years. And in Minnesota, I had a neighbor, his name was Harold. And Harold always had these bird feeders outside, hanging on his tree. But every day, the squirrels would get the food. So one day I saw Harold, he was like, putting a bunch of grease around the base of the tree. Theory being that if he greased up the tree, the squirrel couldn't get up, right? And get this food. But you know what happened, right? Squirrel got the food. Next time I saw him, he was wrapping this metal, aluminum around the base of the tree with the same philosophy. The squirrel won't be able to climb up and get the food. But guess what happened? The squirrel got the food, right? One time I saw him put this funnel. You ever see those funnel dogs have? So they won't bite themselves? Well, it was upside down with these jagged edges. It's kind of cruel, actually. So, but again, philosophy being that the squirrel won't be able to get up. Squirrel got the food. I mean, he tried everything. He put in the bird feeder at the edge of the branch. Hopefully the squirrel's weight wouldn't be able to support it so it wouldn't get the food. Every time the squirrel got the food. Now, Harold died. And I still remember driving away, seeing squirrels still going at his food on his yard. And why would the squirrel, and why is the squirrel always going to win, besides the fact that Harold's dead? Okay? But why would the squirrel always win? See, because 24/7, 365, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 plus leap year, that squirrel's thinking about one thing. Get that food, right? Because that's all. Get that food. See, for you, it's the same thing. How do I get that money? How do I make it in this business? You got to be like the squirrel. Can you feel me? Yeah, all right, good. All right, good enough. All right, now, you're like, where the hell's he going with this? Anyway, I know. By the way, market segment. Define your market segment. Write down your market segment. Who are you going after? What do they look like? Who's your market segment? And if you're writing a manifesto, you got a problem. Should be a couple of words, 2, 3 words. All right, next step, keywords. If I was searching on your site, for your site or your information, for your services, what 2 or 3, no more than 3, what 2 or 3 words would I search on to find you? Write them down. What 2 or 3 words would I search on to find you? 2 or 3 words, no more. Okay, think about it. 2 to 3 words. I'm searching. I'm on Google. I'm on Yahoo, whatever it may be. 2 to 3 words to find you. For those of you already done, let's say you had to start today fresh. You don't have a website. I want you to list out maybe 3 good domain names that you'd like. Call them dream domains. Based on your business, based on your market segment, based on your keywords, domains. Just write them down. If you have your website already, just write your website down. Just write your own website down. Okay? Okay? Everybody's writing? Great. All right. Next slide. Checklist before you build the website. Here's the checklist. Purpose to find what are you going to sell. Okay? That's why I asked you, what are you going to sell? Are you going to sell a product, service, or both? You got to have your copy looked at and written well. Copywriting is essential. I mean, it is essential to actually not so much attracting traffic. That's only one part of it, but converting the traffic once you get there. If you remember reading my website that Get Speaking Gigs, what I hopefully communicated was I'm a real guy. I'm not going to fluff you with information. Did you get that feeling? Yeah, right? It comes across, and it was a story. Do you remember it was a story? Those are called one-page sales letters, by the way. When you see a long format like that, it's a one-page sales letter. And what it's meant to do is as you go through it, you go, yeah, okay, there it is, bye. Okay? Those are effective, but I'll show you that you have to have more pages behind it. But for now, it's suffice it to say, all you need to do is make sure you have great copyright. Okay? Get it? Got it. Good. All right. Website's laid out. Again, make sure you define your pages. One of the things that I did that helped me when I first started is before I went to a webmaster, because every time you go to a webmaster, they're going to charge you for every little change. You know what I'm talking about? Everything. Want to change your name? $50. Just whatever. So what I did was I laid out blank sheets of paper, and I titled each paper, right? I remember just laying them on the floor, and, you put the home page on top, and you just title them, and you start writing an outline for each page. So when you go to a webmaster, basically you give them all 5, 6, 7 pages, says this is what I want my website layout to look like. It'll save you time, money, but it'll actually help you understand the flow of your website, especially if you start going deep into your website, which I'm going to talk about why you should. Okay? I talked about the method of blank papers. Select pictures that you're going to use for your site before you talk to website people. Okay? Again, because if you go to them, they're going to say, I got to charge you for it. Okay? There are a lot of free photo bucket resources out there where you can get photos based on what you need. Okay? You don't have to pay a lot of money. The internet marketing business has changed. Website development isn't what it used to be. 5 years ago, for you to get a website developed, you had to pay $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. Today, dirt cheap. You can get them done for $200, $300. And I'm going to show you how you can get access to that information, okay? Contact information. What I did, I just suggest this. Make sure you have a P.O. box with UPS, because the last thing you want is somebody showing up on your doorstep if you use your home address. Are you with me on that? Okay? And do not contact a web designer if they haven't completed the above, okay? Don't do it. Don't do it. Make sure you get that out of the way first. So again, purpose defined, write your content, lay out your pages, get your pictures in order, get your contact information, whether you got to set up a 1-800 number. I like to use my cell phone number as my contact information. I mean, there was a time where it just didn't look right. Everybody wanted the 1-800 number. I don't think 1-800 numbers are as important, this is my opinion, because they used to matter when you used to cost for you to call long distance. But now everybody has free long distance, so there goes that reasoning. Okay? Now, what you can sell on the site. Books. If you don't have a book, the easiest book to create is a quote book. Find books, a lot of quotes. They're all over the website. I got some resources. And just create a book of quotes, based on a purposeful, alignment. For example, if you're about sales, then write a book about sales quotes. And just list the quotes out and have it published. Have something to give to people, okay? A collaborative book, I think this is a fascinating idea. For example, if you were Pro Speakers Bureau, I'm sure this is going to happen down the road, but if you got a bunch of people within an organization, have everybody contribute one article, let's say, on leadership. Put them all together and then publish it with everybody's name and face on there. Then all of a sudden you have a collaborative book. Everybody has one, and everybody sells on their own. I've seen this done in the college market a lot, by the way, that people do a lot of collaborative books. It shortcuts the process to having something, okay? Now, This is the site I always refer people to, the instantpublisher.com. When I was trying to find out how to publish my books, this is not really print on demand. Print on demand means they still own the book and you just still have to pay them back. I won't get into that. Instant Publisher is clean in the sense that you go up there, you download their software, right? And basically their software lets you import your Word document and lay it out. And then you upload the document, you send them your graphics, and all you have to do is order a minimum of not 2,000, not 2,000, but 25. That's the minimum you have to order. And I believe the number of pages is 25. Now, smaller quantities, bigger dollar cost. But I think even at 25, I think it might be like $5. But what's cool about Instant Publisher, if you go up on the website, they have this thing where you just enter the information, number of pages, and it gives you the price. And so you can see what it costs. I've communicated with the guy who runs Instant Publisher. His name is Chris. That guy has hooked me up so many times when I needed rush orders, especially on this 800 book deal we just did this week. He was great. I mean, he just rushed them out there, and he shipped them directly to the event that we're going to. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
What is the initial cost?
There is no initial cost. There is no, isn't that shocking? If you don't order, you don't pay. So what you do is, by the way, let me give you my website where I keep all my great information. Go to mrgoodweb.com. mrgood, G-O-O-D, web, W-E-B.com. Every time I find something free or something cool, I put it on that website. So if you go to it, on there, and this is the promotion for my man Fred Gleek, on there, there's a guy named Fred Gleek, who I think is a genius. And his information is as real could get. He gives you 5 free books, and all you got to pay is your email address, which you can later unsubscribe if you don't like. He's got something on how to put on seminars, how to make it in the speaking business, how to promote yourself. And by the way, these are not cheesy books. I think one's about almost 200 pages long. This is fantastic information, and I can't believe he gives it away, and I'm sure his list has grown by leaps and bounds just because of that. By the way, something that's not often mentioned is about getting a book real quick. How many have heard of the Gutenberg Project? You know what the Gutenberg is? There's something called royalty free is not the word. It's where the books are free. What is the word I'm looking for? Public domain books. And there's several books on there that are public domain. One was, I believe, is the, now I'm thinking the author, just slipped my mind. But you can take these books, because they're public domain, and resell them. And you can resell them. Yes, resell them. You can package them up and resell them. And what I did, and I'll show it to you later, I took one book, right? I wrote the introduction for it, and I forget the title, the person's name. And anyway, but you'll know the name when I show it to you. And what happened was, I put the introduction, and on the bottom of the book cover I designed, I put forward by Victor Gonzalez. And what I then did is I put the book on my website, and I give it away for free. Right? Because some of us think, well, I don't have anything to give away of value. I just told you, you do. Okay, so if you look up Gutenberg, I think it's gutenberg.org, you should find it. And they're public domain books. How do you spell Gutenberg? God, I knew you were going to ask that. G-U-T, maybe another T-E-N-B-U-R-G.net. And if you don't know who Gutenberg is, think printing press. There you go. .net. .net. E-books. Some of you may or may not be familiar with Adobe programs. You have a question, Jay?
I did on the, first of all, Fred Gleek is a great excellent resource and we learn a lot.
Okay.
But on the book, what quality, what style, what does the book look like?
The one I gave out, if you like The Logic of Success,
Is that what the,
that's Instant Publisher.
okay.
I believe the one Calvin has is Instant Publisher. You know, so, and I'll show you the book. Here you go. This. By the way, I had the same suspicion. I had him mail me a couple of books. I don't trust you. I was like, nah, it's too cheap. Because in the past, you'd have to pay a lot of money to get a lot of books. Again, to create an e-books, it's simply an Adobe program. Are you familiar with Adobe, everybody? Okay, you convert your Word files over into Adobe. They also have a lot of e-book programs that you can use. The reason I don't like e-book programs is because it scares people off, in the sense that a lot of e-book programs are actually executable programs, okay? Executable files, which means you have to download it. It'll say exe file, and then it'll have to go through a whole setup process. And that scares you because you don't know what you're downloading. So I prefer not to use them, and the majority of people have Adobe Reader already anyway, so just use that, okay? It's safe. Audio CD, you know, you can record via computer. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do with audio now. On that website, Mr. Goodweb, if you look under MP3 recorders, I put a bunch of free MP3 recorders. You go get your $10 Radio Shack microphone, plug it in your computer, download the software, and you can record whatever you want. And you can put it in MP3 or WAV files, whatever you want to do. Why? So you can put it on your site. And maybe you wrote an article. Maybe you can read the article and have an audio file up there. Again, it makes you look bigger, but you're not spending a lot of money. Okay? Go to MrGoodweb.com, and there's a lot of MP3 programs I put up there that you can just download for free. And if you've never used download.com, you know, you'll find treasures at download.com. Just enter what you think you'll need, and you'll find a lot of free stuff that you can try. Okay? I use a software program called Acid. What I like about Acid is that it actually lets you record your audio, right, like you're speaking, and then it lets you mix in music. But I mean, it gives you this incredible control as far as controlling the envelopes, the pitch, the rates, and the whole bit, and you can really do magical stuff. So when somebody hears it, I mean, it's pro. It's like it was done at a shop, and it's not that complicated. You have a question, Mike? Nope? Okay. Other software programs, SoundForge. I'm sure some of you have heard that. I've not used SoundForge, so is it a good program?
Yeah, it's great.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
Yeah,
Easy to use also. The software programs have changed. You know, for some of us older folk, we're intimidated by technology. But you have to understand, programming has changed. No longer is it like C:// enter the whole name. You know, it's really just click, drag, and you're in there. Okay? Video, DVD. You know, video your events. I'm just trying to tell you how to get products on your site, okay? This event, we're videoing it. Why? Because eventually we'll put it on the site and repackage it and resell it. Okay? That's what you need to start doing. Like I said, 4 years ago, I wanted to be here, and I am now. You can do the same thing. Whatever your market niche is, there's no reason you can't do your own smaller seminars, okay? And I know this is basic, and I know you know most of this stuff. I'm just going over it. For services, if you want to add coaching, coaching's a big thing. A lot of people want coaching. How many people do coaching here? Okay? Okay. See, I can't do coaching. My time won't allow it. But it's another revenue generator. So anyway, we talked about product and services. This is stuff you know already. Are there any questions on this? Because I don't want to dwell on this too long. Because that's not what internet marketing is about. Any questions? All right, get it? Got it. All right, now let's talk about establishing a web presence. These are some basics for folks, okay? So I don't lose anybody, because I'm going to use these names afterward. This is you. There's a surfer. Remember the big cloud? Okay, that's the net, and your web domain is parked somewhere on a DNS, a domain name server. The way to look at the internet, if you're intimidated by it, is your website is your automobile. And you got to park it somewhere on the internet. That's called hosting. Okay? When you park your website, you got to have a hosting company. Okay? A domain name server is actually the number for that parking slot on the internet. Now, I do a lot of, and talk about hosting, I do a lot of reseller hosting programs. You guys know what that is? Yeah. Using a reseller program is good if you have more than one site. Okay? Because if you're hosting one site, it can cost you anywhere between $5 to $7 to $15. It no longer costs you $100 or $200. If somebody's charging you that much for hosting, you're getting ripped. Okay? So what I did is I found something called reseller programs. And a reseller program is basically they give you this chunk of hard drive. And you can use it for different domains. So I run about 24 domains right now under one account. Okay, 24 domains under one account, and I only pay $19.99 a month. That's it. And because when I talk about leadership, I wanted to do the Hispanic market. I want to do the corporate market. I like the internet marketing market. So if you go to MrGoodweb.com, that's one site. If you go to the Logic of Success, that's another site. You go to VictorGonzalez.com, that's another site. And I'm going to show you some of the other sites I got floating around down there. But all for $19.99.
Can you tell us who your hosting service is?
Oh, yeah. My hosting service is hostdime.com, HOSTDIME. A.com and look for something that says reseller program. What's great about it is that they give you this control panel where you can actually go in there and look at all your sites. You can actually look at how much hard drive you've used. You can also look at the amount of bandwidth that you've used. Think of bandwidth as the number of minutes on your cell phone. Because every time somebody downloads something, you're using up minutes, bandwidth. And it lets you monitor that. And it lets you adjust them as you need them. So every time I have to do an event, I can pop up a new site in less than 2 hours. Yes, sir.
Do they have ASP Cold Fusion or MySQL?
Do they have ASP, Cold Fusion, or MySQL? Yes, yes, yes. All three. All three. They even got their own shopping carts, but you got to know the code to install them. I'm not that good. But they have free chat rooms that you can put on there, so you don't have to buy another program to have a chat room. It's free. It uses up one of your SQL databases. SQL is just a database, just information pours in, and you're using it. So it has all that information. But just to use these panels, you just need to know the basic. I want to have multiple sites. I just want to set up a web page. I want to check my mail. I want to check my traffic. That's good enough. Yes, ma'am.
Do they all direct to the index page?
No, when you look at the index page on your, when you have a website, you have one index page. So let's say your website is what? FYI.com Inc. Okay, so that's your home page, right? Now your home page on, that's your index page?
Your index page is the first thing that's going to come up.
Well, here, let me zoom out. Let me zoom out. You got a website called A.com. You can have B.com, C.com, E.com. It doesn't matter. They're all parked on this server. So different traffic is coming into different sites at any given time. Okay? Not just through the main site, the A site. They come in through all sites. Okay?
All connected to the home page.
No, each site, it's transparent to you. You don't see it. They just look like another website. So her website, your website, your website, all these websites here are just websites. But they're all on one computer hard drive, on one server. But you as a surfer can't tell that. Okay?
I have two. I have a reseller account.
Okay.
I have my site.
Right.
I have like 6 different domains.
Right.
Under my site.
Right.
They're all coming to my one, unless I set them up as different accounts. Is that correct?
Yes, you have to set them up as different accounts. Each website has to have its own account because you want to track each website's traffic.
Right, and you wanted to go to that page, that index page, not the one for the original.
When you sign up, okay, and I'll show you how I do it. When you sign up to, let's say I want to check the GetSpeakingGigs.com traffic, I log on to GetSpeakingGigs/cPanel, and I go into there and I look at my website, okay, irrespective of the others. So it just lets you resell and put a bunch of sites on one server. And I'll show you that, and maybe it'll become clear. But it never refers you back to one page unless you're forwarding or redirecting them. If you're redirecting them, you're wasting your money because there's no point in doing that. And I'll show you why later, okay? And we can talk about it in detail. That's just too deep, but I can get into it, okay? There's no point if you're redirecting. You're just losing search engine points is what you're doing. Because when a website, here, simply stated, if a search engine thinks that you're redirecting it, it like takes away some points as far as your ranking. Okay, just brownie points. You know, because why am I going to this page if you're redirecting me to this page? I won't rank these, I'll just focus on this one. So then these become useless. Okay, so redirecting is not good.
Does the same logic apply with multiple domains pointing to the same web page, or is that a different animal?
When you have multiple domains pointing to one, what will happen, here are the subtleties of this. And again, we're getting in detail, but what happens is that you can have two websites set up on a reseller program, and we talked about this earlier on the side note, it's on one IP address, okay? You can put one to the other, but it doesn't really count in terms of link backs, and we'll talk about link backs. It doesn't count.
I'm just talking for ease of use for someone to find you, not to brand them in different domains. So my name could point to find your ideal career.com,
Right.
Career stuff, all pointing to one main site.
Yep.
Will that hurt you by just using domain forwards to come to your main site?
If I've learned,
Not having duplicate sites, just all pointing.
right, what I've learned is that if your information on 3 sites are all the same, the search engines are smart enough to knock 2 of them down. You know, by the way, now, and if you start forwarding them, you realize that your outbound links are probably going to be too quick or too many of them, and they say, well, if you're both pointing to this site, then this is the important one, and these two are not important. And I'll get into that, okay? But again, forwarding, you have to be careful. And I'm going to go into inbound, outbound, backlinks, and all kinds of links, okay? So what's a search engine program? A search engine is just a giant program. It's a giant program. And what it does, I want you to visualize that you just build a website. This is your website, www.com, okay? This is your website, you just built it. I want you to visualize that there's this file cabinet right here. Do you see it? That file cabinet represents the internet. You just built the website. The page is put right on top of that file cabinet. Unless somebody has your direct address, when they do a search, it would only find what's in the cabinet, right? The program, the search engines, are what they call spiders and crawlers. Sounds creepy, but basically what they are is programs that scour the internet and they're looking for new content. They come, they see your new content, say, it's a new website. They look for your keywords, and we'll get into that, and they say, I know where to file this one. And they file it in the cabinet, push in the cabinet. You have now been indexed by the search engine. You can now be found on a search. And the way you find out if you're actually indexed, in the search box, you type in your website. And if nothing comes up, you're not indexed. Okay? If you come up, that means you're indexed, and now it's a matter of getting you ranked higher. Okay? You want to be indexed. The program for ranking is always changing. If somebody tells you, because I've seen people ripped off on this, is that somebody will come to me and say, look, I'm a search engine optimizer. I can guarantee you I can get your site ranked high. Right? Have you heard that pitch? And I love that pitch because it's usually with a big clause. It depends on the keywords. Right? Because it really depends on your keywords. Somebody says, well, my name is, what was your name again, sir? Lou Hampton. Now, I tell Lou, I can get your site ranked high. Lou's key question should be, on what search terms? I'll probably respond, not being honest, say, well, I can get Lou Hampton ranked #1. So when people type in Lou Hampton, yeah, they're going to find you. Well, yeah, of course they're going to find you, because you're probably one of the few who have that name, right? But now ask them to rank you #1 under sales trainer or motivational speaker, and then they start choking on their own words. Well, it's not that easy. Yeah. So don't let anybody think that they can guarantee a high search ranking, okay? What they're trying to tell you is that, look, I can put it in there for keywords, but it's probably keywords that nobody uses. And that's why you're ranking high. Get it? Good. All right. Search engine no-nos. Things you don't do, okay? Doorway pages or redirects. A doorway page is that you set up one page. That's it. You just put one page, and as soon as somebody hits that page, it redirects them over here. The search engine will delist you if they catch you doing that often enough. Okay? Another one, hidden text. You know how some of you are real clever? You try to type in your favorite keywords with the same color as the background. The search engines can see that. Remember, search engines can't see color, but they can see code, and it's in your code. And I've seen people do that. I've seen people stuff words all the way at the bottom of their page. If you scroll far down enough, and they'll put motivational speaker, motivational speaker, motivational speaker, motivation, and they keep repeating the words, thinking that all these keywords are going to draw a lot of traffic, and I'll explain why in a bit. Don't do that. Keyword loading, again, a lot of words at the bottom. Flash. Do not put flash on your websites. You know how some of you have that intro flash? You know? When is the last time, I'll ask you the question, when is the last time did you do a search at the first page that came up was a flash? You can't remember, can you? See, a search engine program cannot read a flash movie. It's not a program. It doesn't know. There's no text there. Now, they're trying to compensate by new flash programs have where you can put keywords in there. But what happens is that when a spider comes along or a crawler comes along, it has a certain amount of buffer. It says, I'm going to buffer the first 500 kilobytes, right? The first 500 kilobytes I'm going to buffer. I'm going to look in it, and if it's good content, I'm going to go in deeper, right? And what happens is, as soon as it gets to your site, it hits a flash program. And the flash programs are in the megs. It says, poof, too big, I don't see any content, moves on, doesn't even index you. Now, search engine or website developers will tell you, but it looks cool. Well, yeah, It does. It looks beautiful. There's a difference between artists and optimizers. And that's the big difference. When you're looking for somebody to do your website, you got to find somebody that can do both. Okay? That combination. And how do you do that? It's real easy. Next time somebody wants to sell you on optimization, search engine optimization, ask them, well, you're a website designer, so your keyword should be website design Georgia. So I should type in website design Georgia, and you should fly up on the first page. Right? And if they don't, you go, well, how the hell are you going to rank me when you can't rank yourself? Right? There's the litmus test for you. And I know I'm being hard, but I got to, because a lot of you spend money or are going to spend money on your websites doing things you shouldn't be doing, spending money where you don't have to be spending it. And there's a lot of people out there ready to take your money because you don't know this. And everybody wants to sell you on the flash because they'll charge you an extra $1,000 or $2,000. It's a movie, Victor. You're going to love it. Now, put it inside your website. There's little programs that you can use inside your website. Beyond the home page, you can put in there and say, see Flash Movie. That's where you should put it, but never on the index page. Okay? Get it? Good. And again, test the designer. See how they rank. If somebody's going to tell you, I'm an optimizer, I can get your site ranked high, see if their site even comes up. Okay? Choosing a domain name. .com stands for commercial. .net, network and associations. Org, nonprofits. .info, information sites. .biz, hardly used, business sites. .tv, the new one. Are you seeing the .tvs now? The thing is, they cost a lot of money. They're like $34 a year to register, per year, so they're a little expensive. I've noticed that .com sites get ranked higher. Next time you do a search on anything, see if they're a .net or a .com site. So if you don't have a .com site, you may want to consider getting one. Don't ask me the logic behind this. I'm just telling you, when I look at something and I look at what's coming up, I hardly see the .nets. I don't know if that's a bad thing. But then again, there's a lot of sites out there that rank high. So again, this is just my opinion. It's not gospel. Choosing a domain name is critical. Once you figure out who you are, here's some naming tips. Okay? In your domain name, look at the keywords. Go back to the keywords that you wrote down. Go back to the keywords that you wrote down in your book. Look at your keywords. And does your domain name contain any of the keywords? If it doesn't, you're losing brownie points on the search engines. Welcome to reality. We all want to be clever with our names, and that's okay. You can brand your name, and that's okay. But understand that the search engine is going to just bing you a little bit just because you don't have that phrase. So I'm going into sales training, which is what I told you. I registered salestrainingsystem.com, right? Because when a search engine sees that, it says, well, this must be a sales training site, right? Get it? Okay. Now, if the domain name is taken, you might want to consider a dash. Let me tell you why that's key. If you have a site like The Logic of Success, The Logic of Success, if you can read this, no, you can't read that. You know what? I'll describe it. It's easier. Give me, who has a domain name here? Just give me a domain name. Storytellers.net. Okay? Storytellers.net. It'll go through and it'll say S-T-O-R, story. I think it'll pick the story up. Tellers, I think it'll get that. I think yours is good for storytellers. Give me somebody else. Bridgepoint events. Okay, Bridgepoint. So when it looks at Bridgepoint, does it know how to stop at bridge and then go point? Do you see what I'm saying? Unless somebody types in Bridgepoint, it's not going to be able to find it. It might confuse it. The first three letters, the B-R-I-D, let's say it was a word, brid, might mean something else. So it might rank you under brid. Okay? And that's the danger you run sometimes. But I think you're good on that one. Because you can't confuse bridge, I think, with anything else. Okay? But they might just say, okay, this is Bridgepoint. I might want to rank this high under bridges. Do you know what I mean? And the search engine's funny that way. By the way, let me be clear. I'm not telling you to go change your domain name. I'm just telling you how the search engines look at these things. Yes, back there.
I hyphenated my name because I was doing a lot of TV and radio interviews.
Right.
And there's another person that has the same name as me.
Right.
Who's much more famous than me.
Right.
But she was getting a lot of my phone calls.
Right.
And after I'd be seen on TV. And after a while, I started getting some of hers. And what I did was, I wasn't using my name. Her name is Marilyn Joyce. Right. And so I hyphenated mine as Marilyn-Joyce.
Right.
And so I'm ranked on all the search engines, the same place with her. Which is
Yeah. Again, the search engine is just a program, and maybe it doesn't know how to split the name up. That's my point. Sometimes it doesn't know how to split the name up. That's why you want to make sure that your first phrase is really part of your keywords if you're starting out a new domain name. So if I'm going after the sales training business, that's why I said I need sales training something, system.com. It's a long name, I understand, but I know it's going to give me higher rankings on the search engines. Good point. By the way, I think owning your domain name is probably one of the biggest assets you can have. So if you haven't registered your domain name, by the way, here's some examples. I put like sales-training.com, okay? Motivational-speaker.com. These are taken, by the way, by somebody else, not me. But they thought of the idea also. But again, it's one of those things that you can look at yourname.com. If somebody has your name, like I didn't realize there was a lot of Victor Gonzalez's out there.